All right.
104.5 The Team, your home for New York Yankees baseball. Joining us right now on the phone, Wally Matthews, host of the New York Baseball podcast, and of course reports on all kinds of great stuff when it comes to New York baseball. Yankee fans getting a little freaked out with all the pitching issues going on right now, and the Mets blowing them up last night. Were you at all shocked when you saw how great the Mets performed?
Well, listen, I wasn't shocked by DeGrom. I was shocked by Severino a little bit. Even though he hasn't been pitching well, I thought he would handle the Mets. Yesterday was probably the best day of the year if you were a Mets fan, because not only did you beat the Yankees and you beat Severino, but you put a scare into the entire Yankee nation, because now today everybody's asking me, well, who's going to pitch the wild card game? You know, obviously it's probably not, I don't know. I guess it's not going to be Severino, although if I'm Aaron Boone, I think I would start Severino and just have somebody ready to go if he gets into trouble from the first batter.
Well, is he tipping pitches? Is he tired? What's going on with Severino?
He says he's not tired. Nobody has, obviously tipping pitches has been a suspicion with him in the past. The Yankees even admit at this point they don't know what it is. The velocity is there. He's just not getting swings and misses. So that would seem to indicate tipping. But frankly, if Larry Rothschild, who, to me is like the guru of pitching, because for 10 years, every time there was a pitching question, Joe Girardi would say, I have to go ask Larry, like he didn't even know the pitchers. If he hasn't come up with the answer, I'm not going to sit here and presume to know the answer of what's wrong with this guy.
So Severino's getting hit around a bunch, and then CeCe Sabathia goes to the DL. What's the injury status of CeCe?
Well, the knee thing with him is a constant thing, and throughout the year, he gets that knee tapped every once in a while, and he gets lubrication shots in it. It's never going to be right. So, I think every year he's had missed at least one start because of it. The Yankees are saying they think it's only going to be one start, but let's not forget the Yankees also told us that Aaron Judge will be back on the field within 3 weeks of breaking his wrist, and he hasn't picked up a bat yet, and that's, more than 2 weeks ago. So I think they tend to be more optimistic than not with these, but this is not an unusual thing for CeCe. I'm sure we'll see him, throughout the month of September.
Wally Matthews is right now on 104.5 The Team, talking a little Yankees baseball. I look at this rotation. Obviously you're still in line to be the second best team in the American League East. Is this going to be one of those things where you look back and everybody who was like Lance Lynn and Jay Happ, who are these guys? Where we go, thank God we got Lance Lynn and Jay Happ.
I think right now it has to be the latter. You got to say thank God we got these guys, because now you have some depth to the rotation. It did, for a day at least, give them the option of taking Sonny Gray out. Now maybe you got to put him back in, depending on how long CeCe's going to be out. I know Sessa's going to take the spot for CeCe this week, but he's no long-term solution. I think any Yankee fan knows that. So no, I think at this point you got to look at those two moves as like, thank God. And I know there are people who are upset that they parted ways with Tyler Austin, that they parted ways with Billy McKinney, who somehow off like 7 Major League games became some kind of savior to the Yankee nation. But I think, you're going to get a lot more use out of Lance Lynn and Jay Happ than you would have got out of either of those two guys.
You'd all shocked that we haven't seen Justice Sheffield in the big club yet?
It's interesting. The Yankees, don't forget, the Yankees always know more about these guys than we do, all right? And if they decided to make these moves to bring in 2 Major League-ready pitchers rather than Justice Sheffield, it tells you something, all right? I don't have to look at the numbers. I don't have to see him pitch. It tells you that they don't think he's quite ready yet. Doesn't mean he won't be a September call-up, but, clearly they thought their best option was to go outside the organization and get Major League pitchers.
What do we make of that dust-up between Clint Frazier and Michael Kay?
I don't know. I think Michael made a mistake, quite honestly. Mike's a friend of mine, so I'm not going to sit here and bash him, but I don't think you ever win by questioning another player's injury. I know we have fun with Ellsbury because, it just happens so often, but, I've been making fun of Ellsbury all year, and then what happens? He goes under the knife for, to have a hip labrum repair. So, obviously there was something really there. And especially when a guy's got a concussion, unless it's your head, I would not laugh at anybody else's brain injury. I'm sorry. And I know he wasn't laughing, but even to question the legitimacy of it or to question whether a guy has the desire to get back, this guy wants to play. You think he wants to sit in AAA and ride buses and, do whatever the heck they do in Scranton, PA? No, he wants to be with the Yankees. So it's just an ill-advised thing. I'm sure it was not a mean-spirited thing. And he made a mistake.
Wally Matthews, host of the New York Baseball Podcast, with us right now on 104.5 The Team. So, Wally, as a Yankee fan, I'm doing everything I can to stay chill, not worry. I know there's a lot of weird stuff going on. How concerned should Yankee fans be right now about this team?
The only concern you have is, are you going to win the wild card game? Because you're not winning the division, all right? They're going to get to the wild card, all right? I think there's too good a team for that. Look, things are going to be cyclical in terms of pitching. Relievers are going to have great stretches. They're going to have bad stretches. The bullpen, I think, on a whole is very good. I think the starting pitching obviously is a question mark, but I think, when you're 30 games over 500, what are your real worries? Your worries are, can you catch a team ahead of you? I don't think so. They're 10 games back. So now your other worry is, how do we gear up for that wild card game? And as I said, I think you still, unless Severino completely breaks down, you want to line him up, be ready for that game, but you want either Jay Happ or Lance Lynn to be fully rested, because if this guy gets into first inning trouble like he did last year, you got to be quick on the trigger. You got to, for all the criticism of Joe Girardi, I tell you, he did the right thing pulling him out of that game last year in the first inning. I don't know if Aaron Boone has the fortitude or the confidence yet to do that as a first-year manager, but that would be my concern if I were a Yankee fan. Look, we're getting to the wild card game. Will Aaron Boone do the right things that he needs to do to get us to win that game?
For those who haven't had an opportunity yet to listen to the New York Baseball Podcast, where can they find it and what can they expect?
Okay, well, you can find it on iTunes. You can find it on Google Play. You can find it on, I was going to say, like, wherever podcasts are sold. Isn't that what they say on TV? You're talking to an old guy who's not real tech savvy, but I know you can get it on iTunes, and we will. And if you follow me, my Twitter feed at Oyster Bay Bomber, I always post the link as soon as we put it up. We will have one later today with Sweeney Murdy and also with Mike Puma of the New York Post, who went down to watch David Wright this past week. So he's got some pretty interesting things to say about that.
Now, Wally, you've never been known for biting your tongue. Usually when people do podcasts, they...
Much to my chagrin. Anyway, yes.
I'm just saying, normally the podcast is where you don't bite your tongue. How crazy does this thing get?
No more crazy than I am right now, quite honestly. I'm pretty much the same guy. We don't drop that many F-bombs. We do occasionally, but not much. We kind of keep it to the same standards that you would want for your show.
All right, well, so low standards if it's for our show.
I hope that's not disappointing to you.
No, I mean, because I do feel like maybe that's the one thing that is missing, the random F-bomb. So I think that this is perfect for me.
I'll see if I can work some in next week.
Wally Matthews, New York Baseball Podcast, great writer and always fun to talk to, and we appreciate your time as always.
My pleasure, guys. Thanks for having me on.